Happy December the 2nd, guys! So, I thought I'd give you an update of my Christmas hampers because the last two videos I've shown you what I'm going to do and what I've been up to. And it's something, as you know, that I do every year. And once you start doing Christmas hampers, it's so difficult to go back to just buying generic presents that don't really have a huge amount of meaning behind them. So I really can't stress this enough, that Christmas hampers, they don't have to be that difficult, and they can be as easy as you want them to be, and obviously as cheap as you want them to be too. So I thought I'd show you my latest edition. Some of you have seen some of the new pieces that I've been up to on Instagram and Facebook, but I can't put too much on Facebook because there's a lot of relatives and friends that are receiving some of these pieces. So let's just give you some inside information. I've got very festive now, if you can see, my Christmas jumper. I've dug it out, but I just think I love this piece. If anyone remembers this Primark jumper. And yesterday I went to get some Santa's hats and I dressed up my dog and made him pose for me. So that was another Instagram treat. So I've laid out my Christmas hampers on my bed. So this is the Christmas hamper that's going to most of my relatives this year. So you can see it's starting to take shape. So if anybody saw my video the other day on, I think it was Saturday, I uploaded a video on just forming all the Christmas hampers and creating a muffin mix in a jar, Christmas muffin mix in a jar, may I add. And you'll see my adapted recipe of cherries. I told you about the elderberry and blackberry foraging jam, or forager's jam, with all the seeds. And last night we decided to just watch telly, print labels, stick them on and cut out pieces of fabric which match my patchwork quilt. And we've just put hairbands on there at the minute because we ran out of elastic bands. And then we've got the classic apple chutney. Now I kept calling it onion chutney. I completely forgot, but there are onions in it. Then I made, on the Sunday, and uploaded a video on it, Nigella Lawson's Rocky Road. Now that is absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, it's an orgasm in my mouth. I really highly recommend making that for anybody you really like and who you know is a chocoholic. And then something I totally forgot about was Delia Smith's recipe on homemade mincemeat. Now I did this last year and I made little Danish swirl mince pies because they are much easier than regular mince pies. And I've probably got about 8 of these. You'd be amazed how much mix that recipe makes. So I'll put the recipe in the down bar. But this time I'm going to make proper mince pies and hopefully they'll work out fine. So it seems to be a bit of a tradition so far for the last few days that I seem to be doing a blog about it and showing you how to do a recipe. Now I didn't plan on doing that, but I just think, why not? Let's do it together. And I'd absolutely love to see some of your homemade gifts made from these recipes that I'm uploading, or even do a video about it. That's fantastic. And say hi. This is another edition. I have 3 neighbours. We're new to the area and we get on really well. I've never had any problems. So I've decided I'm going to team up these 2 together, cellophane wrap it, and that's what each neighbour will be getting. My homemade classic apple chutney with some oatcakes. And I told you everybody's getting a wedge of Christmas cake. Now I've made 5 of these this year. Let's have a smell. Christmas in a tub. Right there. I'm not opening that out, but I do have to marzipan and ice one of those this week because, like I said, it's going to Cornwall with one of these hampers. So I wish I could come with you. And this special thing, isn't this bad boy impressive? I collect baskets whenever I can, jars, anything pretty, and I stash them away knowing that I plan to use them. And this picnic basket that I found on my travels. I've actually got 3 of them, but I'm going to use 2. And they're both for our parents. And we always like to give our parents a lot more. So we've gone out and bought some Fox's chocolates. They were a steal at Tesco's. If you go to Tesco's right now, but you're going to see some heavily discounted chocolate biscuits. But I thought those are the best, well presented ones in a tin. And we're going to do quite a few more pieces for them, so I'll show you them much later on in another video. But this week I have to do cinder toffee, the marzipan and icing of the Christmas cakes, or at least one cake, some mince pies with my mincemeat, and today I'm going to do some chocolate slabs. Now I'd love you to make these with me, and especially I'd love to see your version of a chocolate slab, because I'm about to do that shortly, and I'll show you how to do it. It's the easiest recipe ever. It is just so much fun to do, and my tips for just doing a hamper in general is, when you are doing hampers for more than 1 people, just make them really quick and easy recipes, because when it comes to Christmas week, and I have left it to Christmas week before, but not out of choice because we'd moved house, it's so hard and it's so draining, and it's not very nice to be put in that position where you do something that you love, but then you actually hate it at the same time. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and that's why I start doing a lot of the legwork in September, because I want to enjoy my Christmas, and I want to enjoy it with all my friends and family. And Christmas week can be the most hectic week, as you know, when you're just invited around for gifts, drinks, gatherings, and you just want it to be a piece of cake. Also, if anybody has any questions on how to make your own Christmas hamper, then just ask, and I'll do my best to answer. I've been thinking about my hamper. The more I think, I'm going to create a video on like the top 10 must-haves on creating a Christmas hamper. I think that'd be really useful. A Christmas countdown on how to get organised creating your Christmas hampers. So if you can think of anything that would help you, then let me know, and I'll do my best to create a video and help you all. But let's do this together. Now, the first thing you need to do is line a baking tray. This one is 25 centimetres by 30 centimetres roughly. What I've done is laid my baking paper on the counter, and I've then placed the baking tray on top, drawn around it, but given myself enough room to cut a piece out just for a lip. So when the chocolate has set, I can lift it out easily. I've also greased it and then put the paper on top first so it can stick there firmly. Now, the very first thing you will need is 300 grams of milk chocolate, all broken up into little pieces. It doesn't have to be expensive chocolate. Like I said, you can make it as expensive or as cheap as you would like. So I'm going to put this in the microwave and keep an eye out on it, and just zap it for every 10 to 15 seconds until it's melted. Once you've given it quite a few intermittent 10 to 20 seconds, just keep checking to see if it's completely consistent. There's no lumps, and I can't see any lumps in there. So now we're going to pour it straight into our lined tin. Just to show you, mine is in my tin now, but now we need to make sure it goes in every corner. So you just need to keep tilting it everywhere. So there we go. I've given it a vigorous shake, and sometimes I've slammed it onto the counter to try and knock any bubbles out. So we're going to put that straight into the fridge for about 30 minutes. Now, while the chocolate is setting in the fridge, I totally forgot to tell you about the plum liqueur. If you remember me saying a couple of videos ago, we moved into a house in April, and when it got to the height of summer, we didn't realise what the trees were in our back garden until it got to the height of summer, and then all of a sudden we saw all of these plums, and we hadn't been in the garden for a while because we were so busy renovating inside. And so when my mother-in-law said, "Ooh, Vicky, come and have a look at this." It was like Christmas literally had come early. And so the first thing that I did was pick them all. I started doing plum crumbles, and then I did a lot of research of what to do with them, and I found you could do the Slovich, I think it's pronounced that, and it's a plum liqueur. So what I'd been doing is I'd left the plums to steep in brandy and whiskey with sugar in jars, and I'd give it a vigorous shake every week. And so last night I sieved them all, and I sieved them straight and poured them into these bottles, and so everybody's got a plum liqueur. But I've got my mitts all over them now. But I've never done this before. It looks really difficult, but this is another thing that is absolutely easy as long as you've got the alcohol and the fruit. So it's set quite nicely, and then you need to break up 300 grams of white chocolate and repeat the process and start melting it in a microwave. So I will see you in a minute. So my white chocolate is a very good consistency. There's no lumps in there. So I'm going to leave that for about 15 minutes just to cool down a little bit. And then what you need to do is just have or get some any treats that you want, because these are going to be sprinkled on top of the chocolate slabs. I've gone for M&M's, chocolate only, just in case there's a lot of people who don't like peanuts, because I never used to like those as a kid. And then I've got some midget gems, so I'm going to be sprinkling them all over my chocolate slab. You can do whatever you want on there. You could have crushed nuts, swirly bits of chocolate, whatever you like, but I'm just going to keep mine nice and simple. I'm going for a candy theme. So I've let it cool down a bit, and now I'm going to pour it onto our chocolate base and do the angling technique so it goes in every corner, and smooth it out with my angled spatula. So I've given it a good old shake from side to side, and that's as flat as I could get it, but it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to start putting things on it, and it'll be broken into shards later. So let's grab some M&Ms and just sprinkle wherever we want. Be totally random. Let's start on the wine gums, midget gems should I say. I think the kids are going to absolutely love this in our families. Some more M&Ms. I think that will do, so let's put that back in the fridge to set again. So here it is. It's been in the fridge for about 2 hours and it's rock hard, and I'm about to take it out, peel off the back and break it into shards to put in presentation bags. So I'll break it up now for you. So that's what the shards look like. Some do fall off, so bear that in mind, and I'm going to put them in bags. And here we have our latest additions. So they're all broken up into random shards of chocolate and wrapped up in plastic presentation food bags and just some floristry ribbon, which you can also get on eBay very cheap. And I've now got the challenge of putting one of them in one of these tins, and everybody will be getting one of these each. So there you go. It's such a thrifty way of presenting your hampers, and I will see you again shortly. Merry Christmas! Hello, what's your name? Hi Santa, have you come to give us some presents? Are you Santa's little helper? And sit! Sit! Oh, come on! Cuddles! Cuddles! Goodbye.